What's going on, everybody? Welcome to After Prison Show. And today is the first day that I've been home since the vacation that me and my wife just took, celebrating our 1-year anniversary. A very special shout out to my wife. The vacation was a good time for us to be able to just relax. At least that's what we attempted to do, and we did so for the most part. There were some things, however, that would take place while I was on vacation that would make me just really want to hurry up and get back home. To try to handle some situations. One of which being the accident in which Jew-Man just got into on the moped. And then something else is what I'm getting ready to share with you guys here today in this video, and that is about my prison consulting client, Michael Blakeman. It's safe to say that we can use his full name now. I first did a video where I did an interview with this guy not too long ago, and for those of you who don't know, this would be the very first prison consulting gig that I would ever take. It will also be the last. I don't want to do that anymore. That was a very emotionally trying experience to go through. Here was a guy preparing to go to prison who had never been to prison before. Did he deserve to go to prison? Yes. I'm going to go ahead and say that. His case was very crazy. An individual who had never been in trouble before in his life, who had a good job, a good upbringing, schooling, comes from a good family, got involved with drugs, was doing drugs while driving a vehicle. He would black out, and his wife, who he had just married a month prior, would lose her life in an accident that would result from him blacking out behind the wheel. Michael had first contacted me via email probably about 2 months ago, and since then, I took an interest in this guy's story for the most important reason being because it signified how one mistake could end up costing you the rest of your life. And though Michael won't spend the rest of his life in prison, he was in the process of taking a plea deal for 7.5 upwards to 15 years in prison. Plead guilty to involuntary manslaughter, and that was the amount of time that he was facing. No less than 7.5 years up to 15 years in prison. Some people might even argue that that's not enough time at all. I'm not going to sit here and debate that point there. Maybe you're right. Who knows? But from the time that Michael reached out to me, I began to work with him. I was his prison consultant. And, prison consulting is a business. We've talked about that. My feelings toward prison consultants, I don't like them. They get paid thousands of dollars to basically make money from people's hardships. I feel a certain kind of way about prison consulting, but I took a liking to this guy, and I felt sorry for him. I truly did. Again, he was an individual who had never been in trouble before, and here he was preparing to go to prison for at least 7.5 years. And I would talk with this guy almost every single day, or at least as often as I could. Toward the end, it became more like, 3 times a week, and I really wanted to talk to him more. But there's only so much that I could talk to him about and tell him and try to reassure him, and I really can't reassure him all that much because I don't honestly know what the situation is going to be like for him. I tried to educate him the best that I could based upon my own personal experiences and those experiences that I know of other people who have been through it as well. But that's just to kind of bring you guys up to speed if you might not be familiar or maybe you forgot or whatever. I just wanted to bring you up to speed on the fact that I had been doing this prison consulting thing, and while I was down in Key West on vacation, I was still continuing to do it to the best of my ability. My phone was getting horrible service down there, but I did try to talk to this guy as often as I could. And a very important reason for that was because it was just on this past Thursday, the day that I was returning home, Michael was to go to court for his sentencing. And I can remember one of the very last questions that he asked me, and as the time grew closer to his sentencing, you could definitely tell that the anxiousness, the scaredness, I don't know if that's a word, you could just definitely tell that the situation was becoming more and more overwhelming, more and more all-encompassing. I don't know how to word it. You could definitely tell it was taking a major toll on him. And every time that I would talk with him, the very first question I would ask him is, hey, how you doing? And I realized every time that I asked that question, it was kind of a silly question to ask because there was never going to be a good answer to it. And pretty much every time I asked him, his response verbatim was, well, it's pretty unbearable. And put yourself in his shoes for a minute. Forget how you might feel about this guy. Just put yourself in his shoes. You have never been in trouble before in your life. I know a lot of people who watch this channel, haven't, but I do know a lot of people have as well. And whether you've ever been locked up or whether you never have, just try to imagine how you would feel knowing that you were getting ready to go to prison. There was nothing else that was going to happen. You were getting ready to go to prison for almost a decade. Do you deserve to go there? You do. Was it a mistake? I think so. Could it have been prevented? Absolutely. But it was still a mistake. I told Michael on Wednesday that on Thursday morning, before he goes to court, he went to court at 9 a.m. on Thursday morning. I told him, I said, I really would like to be able to speak with you Thursday morning, bright and early, before you go into that courtroom, and possibly get some parting words from you before you're getting ready to go surrender yourself and have to serve almost a decade in prison. And he was good to do it, but then Thursday morning would roll around and I wouldn't hear from him. And I want to read to you guys the very last text message that I sent to him on Thursday morning. This was at 6:24 in the morning on Thursday. I said, I'm up early if you'd like to talk. I hope to get a chance to say goodbye and good luck, bro. I hope everything goes as well as can be expected for you today, and keep your head held high. You will get through this, and I will look forward to hearing from you soon, meaning once he gets acclimated and processed in. I will be looking forward to hearing from him and finding out how he's doing. And if any of the advice that I've tried to offer to him has been of any use or no use at all. I sent that message on Thursday at 6:24 in the morning. I wouldn't hear anything back. Around 12 o'clock, I began looking online to see if any news articles had posted about him. Folks, one thing that I need to address real quick, and people asked when I did the interview, they said, Joe, have you verified this guy? If you type in Michael Blakeman, the verification is right there. And folks, forgive me. I've actually got Michael's father texting me right now. The verification is right there. The news media has made this dude out to be a monster. And that's really unfortunate. It's really unfortunate how that can happen. But when I looked him up, I didn't find any information on what had happened. It would be 7:35 Thursday night. I had just got back in town. And Michael's father would actually text me. And I don't really feel all that great sharing much of this. We actually texted for a little while. But I just want to share one message that he sent to me. He says, "Hi, Joe. This is Michael's father." And mind you, they're Russian. Michael is of Russian descent. They don't speak all that great of English. I mean, they speak English, but it's kind of, I don't know why I'm even bringing that up. On text message, if I showed you the text message, it would make more sense. I'm going to read it as correctly as I can. He says, "Hi, Joe. This is Michael's father. First thing I want to say is many thank yous for your support. For all of your support. Hope Michael will follow all of your advice. This phone will obviously be disconnected in a few days. Please contact me if you want." He gives me his name and his phone number. "Me and my wife can't stop crying. They took Michael away today. Thank you again." I would also text a little bit with his father and find out that Michael did receive 7.5 years in prison. He did receive the plea that he took. And I mean, that's what was to be expected. Nothing less was ever to be expected. But there's a couple of reasons why I really want to do this video right now. I want to share this with you guys. I never gave you guys Michael's information prior to today because I didn't want that to impede with anything dealing with his court. I kind of felt worried about that. But it's all said and done now, so you guys can look it all up for yourselves if you choose to do so. But I would learn that there was actually a video of Michael's sentencing. It's actually been uploaded to YouTube, and it's called Michael Blakeman's Sentencing. The whole damn sentencing is right there. And we're going to talk about that a little bit. I'm going to pin a comment down in the comment section with a link to the video so you guys can check it out for yourself. I want to respond to one particular comment on this video. I'm surprised not very many people recognized him from After Prison Show. I shouldn't be so surprised. We are all but anything even remotely relevant at this point, but touche, it is what it is. We're going to keep doing what we do. This individual named Joshua White who says, "Oh my OMFG, this is the turd from After Prison Show, LOL." You spelled turd wrong, dumbass. "He hired Joe to be his prison consultant, LOL. Probably paid him a couple grand too. What a clown." Shout out to the people who actually responded to this comment, who said, if you paid any attention, Joe did this pro bono. Joe did this pro bono. APS Army. Special shout out to you guys. But it's really interesting that this video exists for this next particular reason that I want to talk about with you guys right now, and that is court representation, your lawyer. Whether it's a paid lawyer or a court-appointed lawyer. And in Michael's particular case, he had a paid lawyer. And from what it seemed like from the conversations that I had with Michael, it didn't seem like this paid lawyer, thousands of dollars like this asshole just said about my prison consulting services, but you can rest assured for sure that this lawyer was paid. It seemed from my conversations with Michael, he wasn't really doing anything in an effort to fight for him at all. Maybe there was no fight. Maybe the news media had portrayed this guy in such a way that the lawyer just realized, I'm going to take this money and just sit back, kick back, and think about how I'm going to spend this. Easy $20,000 or $30,000 right here. Might have been more than that. Could have been 50. You know, whether you have a court-appointed lawyer or a paid lawyer, one particular fact is true in both cases. It is a very scary situation to be in when you've got no prior knowledge of what the judicial system is like, and all of your eggs are forced to rely in the basket of either a court-appointed lawyer or a paid lawyer. Their advice, their actions and arguments and defense and fight game inside of a courtroom, or the lack thereof. Michael would agree to a 7.5 to 15-year plea bargain. Had he fought this charge, he could have potentially, maybe, ended up with 5 years, or maybe ended up with a life sentence. Who knows? It's a roll of the dice no matter which way you look at it. But the fact of the matter is, it was made apparently clear, evident, extremely clear by Michael himself that his lawyer wasn't doing anything for him. And you might ask yourself, well, Joe, what do you expect a lawyer to do? I mean, damn, fight a little bit, especially if you're paying them that much damn money. Recommend that you do something, possibly, get involved in some substance abuse classes, get involved in some voluntary community service work. Do something to attempt to make yourself not look like the monster that the media is portraying you to be. There's some legal advice right there, pro bono, from a jailhouse lawyer, me, myself. And I share this with you because of the fact that toward the end, as we got closer to Michael's sentencing, that's exactly what I tried my damnedest to do. Forget the prison consulting role. I really wanted to try to be that jailhouse lawyer for him. And I know some of you are probably thinking, Joe, where's the punchline? Where's the joke? I know you're about to make a joke. Okay, we're talking about jailhouse lawyers. I ain't gonna make no joke. I'm gonna tell you in all seriousness what I mean by this, because you're probably like, you probably don't have any idea where I could be going with this. When I would learn that Michael's lawyer wasn't doing a damn thing to try to help this guy inside of the courtroom, I tried to give him my jailhouse lawyer advice. And there's two things that you better do when you're walking into a courtroom, no matter whether, well, actually it only matters during sentencing. If you're taking a plea deal, you better do this. And if you go to trial and you lose and get found guilty, you better do this as well at sentencing. And it's two things. You better own up, show some ownership and some responsibility for your action. That's number one. And number two, you better show some damn remorse. When the judge asks you, because they're going to ask you right before they impose sentencing, is there anything that you would like to say before I impose sentencing? You better get up there and own up to what you've done, accept responsibility for the actions that have caused you to be standing there in the first place, and you better be sorry. And these two things that I was trying to emphasize to Michael weren't things that I thought would ultimately help him stand a better chance of getting less than 7.5 years. That was not the case at all. If you go in there and do these two things, there's a good chance it could go completely different for you. You might get no time. That was never the case. But if you go into that courtroom and you don't do those two things, the chances are a lot higher that that judge who has the ultimate deciding factor, it's ultimately up to the judge what she or he is going to do in terms of imposing sentence. Whether they're going to take the recommendation of the 7.5, or they're going to feel compelled to lean more toward the higher end of the sentencing guidelines. I haven't watched very much of the Michael Blakeman sentencing video. But if you want to see it, it's down in the comments section. It's pinned right there. It's 30 minutes long. You can watch it for yourself if you would like to do so. But I watched enough of it to pick up on one final part that I want to share with you guys. And that is that because Michael accepted or entered into this plea agreement, 7.5 years up to 15 years, the judge would actually say to him that he is not eligible for some sort of a boot camp, some sort of a prison boot camp that could have been like easier time. I don't know if boot camp could be easier time, but maybe it was an alternative, some sort of an alternative. And I saw that that question was asked if Michael would be eligible for that program by his paid lawyer, who was responded to by the judge that said no, he's not going to be eligible because he's entered into this plea agreement already. Damn paid lawyer. You should know that. I mean, that's just my thoughts. Maybe not. I didn't feel sorry for this guy because I felt like he didn't deserve to be punished for what he did. I felt sorry for this guy because I can't imagine what it would be like to be in that situation. Being completely green, being completely vulnerable, being scared, and knowing that you were damn sure going to prison. I felt sorry for him for that reason there, because he had never been in trouble before. But he made a mistake, and now he's paying for it. He shared with me that he had no friends. You know, there were things to definitely feel sorry for this guy for. And no matter how you may feel about him, you're entitled to do so. But I'll go as far as to call him a friend, because I damn sure spent enough time on the phone with this guy getting to know him, trying to talk him through his many different concerns and some very, very dark times as well. And it was sad. It's just sad all the way around the board, for the loss of the life of his wife, for everything. I never got a chance to say goodbye to this guy, but I have begun communication with his father, who is extremely grateful for me taking a liking and an interest in trying to help his son in any way that maybe I could. His father has talked to Michael, who told him to tell me hello. He's doing okay. He's only been locked up for, at the time of us filming this video, only one day. It's Friday as I filmed this. And that he's looking forward to getting where he's going and to be able to then speak with me when he gets there. And I'll be very interested and eager to speak with him as well, and also be able to bring you guys an update on this guy and what prison is like for him. And I cannot emphasize this enough. You know, I can't. Like, I don't care what you think about this dude. The media has made this dude out to be a monster. So many people will just say so many horrible things in the comment section, you know. I get it. I truly do. It's YouTube. That's, you know, that's how the whole thing works. But damn, man. What happened to this guy could happen to anybody. Joe, yeah, right. Nobody's going to be getting out there getting high and then blacking out and then crashing the car. It might not happen exactly like that. But trust and believe me. It's almost scary to think about that things like this could actually happen. And in Michael's particular case, they did. I think it's also really interesting to me too, like how the media made him out to be such a bad person, but you know, I took the time to get to know him. And he was just a regular person who made a mistake that he's going to have to pay for the rest of his life. And he faced that, you know? Like, he faced that head on. He went to court. He didn't run. So anyways, that's it. I just wanted to share this with you guys. It's been heavy on my mind since, you know, yesterday when he actually did get sentenced. And I'm never doing it again. I'm never going to do the prison consulting thing again. It's emotionally, it's taxing. It truly is. But I just hope, man, I hope I provided this guy with some kind of understanding and better preparation for the situation that he is now in. And I'll be looking forward to bringing you guys an update featuring him and how he's doing very soon, or as soon as we possibly can. It could be a month. But in the meantime, if you guys do want to check out his sentencing, it's pinned down there in the comments section. Hey, look, that's it. I hope you guys enjoyed this video, and if you did so, please leave a like and a comment letting me know exactly what you thought about it. As always, until next time, enjoy life, the free world. Never take a moment for granted. Never take a moment for granted. And make the most of every day.